So what is up, ladies and gentlemen? We have another Eisendrache video. This one is going to be how to upgrade the purple avoid skull bow. A lot of people are making this more complicated than needs be. I'm going to outline each and every step really clearly and have you prepared before that step even comes up. Basically, I'm going to be outlining each and everything you need to look out for, and of course what you need to listen out for. If you do go on to enjoy this video, do smash the like button. It really does help me out, and of course subscribe if you are new for more zombies content like this. I have a lot more tutorials on the channel if you also want to go check them out, but if you are just here to see how to upgrade this bow, then that is all good. Let's get straight into it. So as with upgrading all of the bows, you actually do need the standard bow, the Wrath of the Ancients. If you don't know how to get that, basically you need to fill all the dragon heads. If you don't know where they're located and are still sort of struggling with that, I do have a video on it, so do check that out. But the first step, which is obviously the initiation step, to sort of let the game know that you are actually going to upgrade this void bow, is what you want to do is head down, right down to double tap just like I do with the video. You will see a purple symbol on the wall. What you want to do is actually shoot that with your Wrath of the Ancients. A part will drop down, walk over, pick it up, and that is pretty much the initiation step complete. Next up is nothing too far-fetched. What you want to do is head down to the courtyard area and then head into this room. You will need to open that up if you haven't already. You will see a glowing purple square. You want to get a zombie onto that square, on or near that actual square, and knife him on it. It needs to be a knife kill. You will be able to knife him with sort of the arrow animation that you get when you actually have the bow. You can knife him with the Bowie knife, you can knife him with the normal knife, really doesn't matter. But of course you will see a glowing purple square. That will open up, an urn will appear. You need to hold square on that so that actually does pop up. Then from there, the next step involves 6 skull heads. You do actually need to collect these 6 skulls around the map. Follow the exact path I do in the video. Basically head down into this cave. First skull is located right here. Next one is of course located around by double tap right beside it, just like in the video. Over on this rock, hold square on him. Next one is in Samantha's room. Follow the path all the way up over the archway and into Samantha's toy box. Hold square on that skull. Next up then we have to go down, of course, to the teleporter, and just in front of the teleporter there's sort of a sink to the right. You hold square on that one as well. Next one down, of course, on the rocket launch pad. You need to head down to the teleporter to get down there. You can actually go down there with a actual trampoline launch pad thingy, but also the next one is on the back of the truck. Hold square on that, and then of course that is only 5. The 6th one is back up in the courtyard. I find this one is probably the best one to get last, because then you can just follow a certain path to get the first 5. But basically that is up on the window ledge in the courtyard. Now the next step is sort of still in this step. You need to make 6 crawlers, but I want you to hold it there. You do actually need to get familiar with 6 words, and I'm going to explain why right now. So basically those 6 words are horn, stag, door, heart, crown, and griffin. Horn, stag, door, heart, crown, and griffin. And just notice that there is an N at the end of horn, and of course door is more of a, the O's are more pronounced, so it's like oh. But basically we will have a voice. After we kill 6 crawlers, we are going to have a voice, and he's going to say 3 of these words. You need to take down the order of these 3 words, and of course what words they actually are. It is really important that you do, otherwise you can't upgrade this bow. I'm not gonna lie, there's no way. It is literally trial and error. It could take you 20 rounds to get this bow if you don't actually know the words that you said. But nonetheless, let's hop back to the step. Those words actually correspond to sort of the step after this one. But basically, kill 6 crawlers. And the best way to do this is actually sort of get a horde and of course throw a grenade between all of them. And if you're doing it early enough, you will actually get a good few crawlers. And basically those skulls that we just collected, they're all going to be floating around this little ritual thing that was in sort of that toil room from the very start. And of course, every crawler that you bring near one of them is actually going to feed off that, and that one is done. So basically you need 6 crawlers for 6 of those skull heads, and right as that's done, you are going to get your name message. And I'm going to play you mine and see if you can actually make out them, and then I'll actually sort of explain what way we'll go about this after. So let's take a listen to what words I got. So if you haven't got it already, listen to it a few times, it will actually get it. The way he sort of says the words, you do actually need to get used to, is like the way he says horn and the way he says door are pretty similar as well. But if you didn't hear it, it is basically horn, crown and stag. They are my 3 words. And what you want to do is basically pause it if you're on solo, and if not, just repeat the words over and over and then write them down or something like that when you actually get the chance. And now here comes more memorization, but the first thing we need to do is actually collect 6 sort of power up drops. These are going to be purple, you can't miss them, but they do only last for 2 seconds, so you need to get there quick and collect it straight away. Basically what you want to do is head straight on over, pick that up, and you need to pick up 6 of them. A lot of people say you need to pick up 4. You need to pick up 6 so you have 6 input options, because you could pick up the 4 wrong symbols that like don't correspond, or maybe only one of them will correspond with 3 things that you got. Basically it is a safe way to do it if you get 6 of them. Of course, if probability is on your side, then of course you can actually get 3, 4 or 5 of them, and then they will be the inputs that you actually need. But nonetheless, I recommend collecting 6 of them. It could take 2 rounds, could take 3, you could get 3 in 1 round, and of course none in the next. Like, it all depends on whatever way the game configures. But nonetheless, when you have those 6 symbols, this is exactly what you want to do. Or rather, when you think you have those 6 symbols, basically come on down here and 6 panels should be lined up for the symbols that you connect. Now, a lot of people have different ways of remembering these, because you will need to sort of remember these. These don't really change, but you will need to know which ones you actually get in your game. And the way I remember them is pretty much the first one that I'm aiming at now. Yeah, that one I call DNA, the next one I call circle, the next one I call tier because it looks like a tier, the next one is a bow tie, next one's triangle, and the last one's a flower. Like, they're all sort of pretty distinctive, pretty different, and they're really easy to remember that way. But nonetheless, the actual words that I told you to remember earlier, or the ones that I rather tell myself to remember, the ones that you normally have to write down, they correspond to a symbol on, of course, one of the nightstands that are just located off the power room. Like, there's the power right there, you could probably see it, and of course it's just down from there. There's knights all around. And remember those words from earlier? Mine were horn, crown, and then stag. So I go over, look for the horn panel, hit that first, and then take note that it is the tier. So horn, tier. Next one is of course crown. I look for the crown symbol somewhere. It's actually over here located on the corner. And of course that is circle, so I know tier is circle. And then the last one was stag. We need to head on over to the stag knight, and of course the symbol that we get is a flower. So doesn't really matter what the words were before, I've now translated them on over to, of course, tier, circle and flower. And now, keeping them in mind, those symbols of course correspond to the panel way back in the other room where we started with the tile. And of course what we want to do is hit tier. Then what we want to do is head around, hit circle, that was the next one, and the last one was the flower, which is this one over here. I've locked in the name that this ghost wants me to recognize, and of course then he says that is my name, and boom, you get that. It does take a few seconds, so just give it a second. And we are of course gonna get an animation. The urn blows up, the skulls attack it, and of course that drops down where the purple tile was earlier. We are gonna get a bit of a purple glow, a bigger purple glow that looks like it's starting to disintegrate, and then basically pops out our part. We walk on over and pick that up, and then basically that's the void bow. Then, like all other bows, you want to head down to the pyramid room and of course place in all your parts, feed that zombie souls, and then of course when it stops taking in zombie souls, you actually get a sound effect which is really hard to hear sometimes, but nonetheless, then place in your unupgraded bow, and of course then wait about 3 seconds, you're gonna get a notification, then take it back out, and boom, you have the upgraded void skull bow, the purple void skull bow. That is how to get it, ladies and gentlemen. Of course the symbols and names change every game. I think I mentioned that, just thought I'd mention it again, but that is pretty much it for this video. I hope it was useful, I hope it was helpful, and maybe take note of all the names that I sort of gave to the different symbols. It makes them really easier to remember, and you will have no problem upgrading this bow when of course either going for the Easter egg or maybe even using it in a game. But nonetheless, I actually do think the electric bow is the best. If you don't know how to upgrade that, do check out that video. I also have upgrade guides for all the other bows, and of course a lot more Der Eisendrache videos where this one came from. So do check those out if you haven't seen them already, and of course I will see you all later, and I hope to see you all in another video very soon. Peace out, thanks for watching, and bye.